I'd love for you to share with us a little bit, because I think people's backstories are so important. I mean, people see like, you might have friends who now see you as like, oh, Miles, look, he's like killing it in life and stuff. But I think we all have like our own backstory, some like, adversities from the past or something that led up to kind of, some of the golden days that we live in now, so to speak, right? You did mention, I'm bringing it back a little bit. You did mention there were some like hard times it sounded like you went through kind of originally growing up. Can we dive into those? Like, what did that look like? I mean, for you anyway?
For sure, dude. Yeah. I mean, a lot of people, a story is kind of everything. A lot of people, they don't really know my story. They say I'm more like reserved and a quiet person, which I am like a quiet person, honestly. And I kind of keep to myself, keep my head down. But as far as like my backstory goes, like it kind of goes back all the way to like, as long as I can remember, like probably, newborn, my dad used to tell me stories, but my mom was like a really, really bad alcoholic and she'd pop pills and stuff like that. And, that's a lot of people said I'm pretty mature for my age, and that's kind of why. So shout out to my mom, who I don't talk to, but, she made me the person I truthfully am. And I grew up so quickly because I had a little brother that I had to take care of whenever she was asleep and would pass out and stuff like that. So it's pretty dark, and, I didn't really face those issues until high school. Whenever my mind kind of got dragged off of things because I got hurt pretty badly playing football, and I didn't have anything to do. And then I remember just sitting there, every day whenever I did tear my ACL, and, kind of all that anger built up, and, I ended up putting myself in the hospital. So yeah. So,
was like sports your thing? Was that what you were trying to do?
Yeah. I mean, it really wasn't my thing. I love to work out. I love to play football. I love to compete. So yeah, in its own way, I would say so for sure.
Yeah. So like athletics in general, just being athletic. Yeah.
Being active and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Sure.
So Randy hits the pump, bro. And,
I try to.
And so what draws you to like I guess like athletics and that kind of thing?
So as far as athletics, like working out was like a huge thing for me for a couple of years. I got up to, I think, 235 pounds, and my body fat percentage was under 10%. At my biggest bull, I looked completely different. I didn't look how I look now. And
I'm sorry, just to interrupt. For the people that don't know that's like Adonis type status. Like that's real lean. That's with that amount of weight, you probably look like a monster, bro.
Yeah, obviously, I had the help of other things. I had a coach at the time as well, and I was 19, weighing that much, and I saw a future doing that, and I got super obsessed with it, which is kind of where I'm at right now with obviously Vivint. But so the thing that like draws me into that is like constantly your body changing and evolving, and it's cool to see that, especially over like a short period of time, 12, 16 weeks for a prep.
Mm-hmm.
And working out like just kind of takes my mind off of things, and that's kind of how it is. So
and so you're doing athletics, and you're just doing like kind of basically a high school out of college thing. And things didn't. It sounds like basically things didn't like completely go as planned initially. You're like, crazy stuff growing up, right? So, I guess at what point? Because what I'm trying to avoid is getting to like a Vivint conversation.
Right.
I want to hear like some of the cool stuff behind it, right? So, tell us what life looked like prior to getting into sales, and then once you started working, kind of. What I guess new things did you realize or learn that you feel like are of value?
Mm-hmm. So prior to Vivint, my life was like just completely about honestly working out.
Yeah.
That's what my life like revolved around. And
did you ever think about money or like making money? Was that ever a thing that you thought about?
Even to this day, no, like money's not a huge motivating factor to me. And I found that out quickly. I thought that it was, which is weird. I truthfully thought that, like, the fancy stuff, I thought that was a huge motivating factor to me, but I never really thought about like making money. I just, thought about doing cool stuff, and, I thought about like providing for my family essentially one day, and I knew that bartending wasn't going to get me there. 'Cause that's like my biggest motivating factor is like being able to provide for a family one day.
Right.
But before sales and all that jazz, I was just trying to do the right things, I guess you could say, which I don't really know what that was back then. I had no sense of direction, but today I do have a sense of direction, and I know exactly where I want to go and what I want to do.
So what does that sense of direction look like? Can you paint that picture?
Yeah, I want to retire by I'm 40. I want to be a millionaire in 5 years, which I'm on pace to do so. And I just want to like live my life as the way that I want it to be, essentially. And whenever I'm 40, I want to be retired in the Keys on a boat, drinking Coronas with cigars.
So have you got this all planned out in your mind? Like it's picture perfect?
Yeah. I'm kind of like weird whenever it comes like a mental pictures and what I want to do, and then I'm going to do what it takes to get there and do everything that I can.
So yeah, with that being said, I do kind of want to, I guess, kind of get into your plan. So as far as that goes, like, do you have any interest, where that you want to fall into, like besides sales and Vivint? Like, what other avenues would you want to take to, get yourself to that ultimate imaginative goal that you've already pictured in your head?
Yeah, for sure. I want to 100% start investing into like real estate properties, rental properties, and I watch a lot of like Grant Cardone stuff.
Yes,
real
sir.
estate. Real estate's the quickest way to get rich, obviously. And then I'm 21 now, so if I start doing that properly, all of those houses will be paid off. I would assume by the time that I'm 60.
So is your, I'm sorry to interrupt, because I really kind of want to go deep into this, because this could help a lot of people out, just for people, that want to, like, I guess, increase their cash flow, their flows of income or such. So is your plan to, I guess, start like buying residential, rent those out, and then move on to like bigger things, or what's the plan there?
Yeah. I mean, like fixer uppers would be cool.
Yep.
Like houses that aren't in the best shape, and then, buy them for cheap.
Flipping,
flip
basically.
them.
Okay.
Not reselling them, but fixing them, renting them out for, a decent price.
Yeah, so you're getting the house at a good deal, because you're buying it out of, obviously it's like an undervalued asset at that point, and then you're able to fix it up and you increase the value and then rent it out for cash flow.
Exactly.
Yeah. That's right.
Yep. And then also buying like a duplex would be ideal as well. Like apartment homes would be pretty cool as well.
Yeah, I feel like that's probably like a higher goal to attain, right?
Yeah, higher, because they're more expensive. But
I fucking love real estate, bro.
Yeah,
you got me hooked on that.
Yeah.
Do you have any moves this year?
So this year, what I'm like trying to do, with the money that I did earn, is just save it all for next year. That way, I have money to lose, money to gain, if that makes sense.
Yeah, it makes a lot of sense, actually.
Yeah. Because if I started now, like, I obviously have a, good income, but I want to have like a lot more that I can play with and, venture into things and stuff like that.
Flexibility, like breathing space, kind of.
Yeah, definitely breathing space for sure.
How much? What are you trying to do this year?
As far as
I'll leave it open ended for you to answer, but just I guess goals for going, 2020. I mean, you've already started 2021. To be honest, like we start 2021 like a month or two early, right? But you're obviously already starting 2021. So what's your kind of like goal? Like, what by the time we're going into 2022, this time next year, where do you want to see yourself at? I'm super curious to see what kind of like how you've adjusted your goals this year. Because it's like you get from point A to point B, and then you have to be like, okay, what does point C look like? You know what I'm saying?
So honestly, like my thing this year is like last year I went ham on, sales. This year it's kind of draw back a little bit from sales, because I know that I can obviously do that, and I want to like try to impact and influence and help other people's lives the way that mine was, because my life was like completely turned around and changed, honestly. As far as the fact that, my whole family, they went to college and did like the right thing, and
right.
I'm kind of like the outcast, whereas I didn't do that. I quit that and I went like a different route, and I want to be able to like help a lot of other people do that and shape their lives in the way that mine was shaped. That's like my biggest goal this year, is helping other people out.
Impact others, yeah. Super curious. What are your parents like? What did your parents say when you first started doing Vivint? Were they supportive, or were they kind of like skeptical? And then what are they saying now?
So I haven't talked to my mom since I was 14.
Okay, yeah, that's right.
Due to the the alcohol thing.
And I guess what I meant, family and your family, right?
So my family, they don't really know, like, truthfully how well I did with Vivint. Like, the past 2 years, they have no idea at all, and they still continue to ask me, like, hey, are you going to go to college? Are you going to do this? Are you going to do that? And that kind of is one of the things that holds me back from, like, purchasing something that, like, lets them know, like, I'm doing decent,
Right.
Because I don't really want, like, a lot of people to know that, essentially, as far as, like, family goes. But I still talk to my dad, and he was, like, pretty supportive of me doing it. At first, obviously, when you're in the recruiting process, you're super skeptical and this and that and the other. So
were you skeptical?
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
absolutely.
What were your skepticisms?
Well, that's just the way that I operate, is like, my brain is like, whenever someone throws something that's flashy at me, it's like I just, like, tense up and draw back. But I trusted Trey because he was my friend. But my skepticism...
Shout out Trey.
Yeah, shout out Trey. That's he's one of my best friends. But
it's awesome, yeah.
My biggest thing was, like, how are these kids so young? None of them had a college degree, because that's what my brain was programmed to think was, like, the proper thing to do, is go to college and then you make all this money. And that was, like, my biggest drawback, is, like, how can these kids be, not even 25 years old, making, $500,000?
Yeah. Like Dan Coombe. Yeah.
Yeah.
Dude.
Like, how is that even possible to be doing that?
Right. It's crazy.
So that was, like, my biggest thing. And what kind of changed my outlook on that, is I remember around this time I was in the truck with Shane, Schroeder.
Shout out Shane Schroeder.
Yeah.
Cool guy.
And, I was
Shane.
Yeah, me too, dude. I was in the truck with him, and I didn't really know him, but I was one of Trey's boys. So I was riding with him. I was drilling him with questions, and he just finally looked at me. He was like, dude, do you think this shit's a scam? And I was like, I don't know, bro. I haven't been shown anything. And he's like, do you want to see my bank account? And I was like, yeah. And he showed me $100,000 in his account. And I was like, bro,
proving it for you.
I was like, if I can do that, man, my life will be changed, like 100%. So that's what I was skeptical about. I guess was being hurt.
And then so basically it was Shane being like, yeah, here are the numbers, dude. These are the digits, and that kind of changed your mind, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, money talks, dude, for sure.
Cool. Yeah, I have a couple good questions, but do you have any?
No, go ahead, shoot. I'm building me.
Okay, so in the process, what do you think? I mean, dude, like, the reality is